Ninth episode starts with us seeing Brian, who winds up with another victim. This, as we later find out, happens to be the woman from the adoption agency, Barbara. When Harry and Maria show up, the latter pulls her colleague aside and brings up the file he snatched from Tampa. Here, Harry reveals the truth, at least some of it, regarding his connection with Laura. During flashbacks, Harry admits the truth about his affair to Spencer, who promptly takes his badge. However, he does agree to continue with a search down on the docks for her whereabouts, knowing that one of the shipping containers will hold her inside. After several days, they find the boys, but everyone else is carved into pieces, including Laura. This completely breaks Brian, who ends up watching all of this while Harry snatches up Dexter first. Harry has always had an affinity toward Dexter over Brian, and we're definitely not seeing everything here. In fact, Brian ends up going psycho one day and tries to choke out Deb while she's in her cot. He goes off the rails, putting his fist through the window afterwards, and eventually is taken away from Dexter. Maria is determined to find out what she may be missing here and shows up at the archives, looking through Moser's history. However, she doesn't find anything untoward. Turns out the archivist down there is doing Harry a favor and covering up the truth. Back at the station, Dexter has his razor focus on Spencer, knowing he's certainly not clean, but also that he's a master at playing the part of a grieving father. In order to get answers, Dex breaks into his bachelor pad. He's also forced to hide it out for a while, given Harry shows up with Spencer. It's touch and go for a while, but he does manage to slip out the window and evade detection. The next day, there's a blood drive at work, and Harry tasks Dexter with bringing Deb with her. She gets a taste for the good life, with Tanya even brings up that she's a little disappointed that another kick-ass woman isn't joining the team. As fate would have it, Dexter winds up needing to draw blood from Spencer. He's intentionally rough with removing the needle and realizes the guy's poker face is very much intact, a far cry from Clark, meanwhile, who's incredibly frazzled and worried given he could have HIV. He tells Dexter this in confidence, and Dex agrees to draw blood on his behalf instead. Meanwhile, Harry checks out old photos from the various crime scenes and realizes that Brian has been there, in the crowd. He's gone back to survey numerous times, and unfortunately, it seems like he has his focus on Dexter now. As Harry gets closer to the truth, so too does Dex, who goads Spencer into falling into his trap. After wrestling him down and tying the guy up, the pair talk with the gloves off. Spencer admits he's doing all of this to get back at his ex-wife. Unfortunately, Dexter makes a huge mistake and after slicing off Spencer's finger, leaves him to bleed on the table. He's also loosened the cling film holding him down too, and he promptly escapes. However, Dexter was actually banking on this and watches as Spencer drives off, deciding to chase after him and find Nikki. As for Brian, he takes a chainsaw to Barb, the adoption agency worker whom he took hostage earlier in the episode. He's holding a huge grudge after being separated from his brother and decides that she's going to pay now.